go like 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Dude, did you know you can subscribe to onlywrestlers.com and keep in touch with your favorite wrestlers? The party never has to end.
One of a Kind with Rob Van Dam is recorded in front of a live studio audience.
Yeah.
And what was did I answer the other one too? Was it
no, the other one was when you were kickboxing, what was some of your best techniques?
One of my best techniques was that I was durable, which meant I could take a good punch.
Oh.
Yeah. But eventually, when I learned how to jab really fast, that was one of my best techniques because I notice a lot of not professionals, but people in general, like when they're hitting on the heavy bag, if they're right-handed, they completely throw their left hand away. It's a throwaway punch to just go like 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. But that one can do some fucking damage. Like, why you're just throwing it away? It's a waste. And they're just like, since it's not their power punch, they just barely tap, like boom, bam. And really, if you got a really good jab, bam. And if you get good at disguising it and throwing it fast, then it'll rock somebody. Rock them with the jab, and then maybe you got him a little senseless, and that'd be an easier target for you to come in with the power punch. But a lot of people seem to waste the jab. So that's something that I'd say was a good technique, was the speed and my ability to get the jab in.
Wow. That's fascinating to me, like trying to learn boxing and doing all that kind of thing, because it's like I'm left-handed, so me trying to use the right-handed jab a little bit more and trying to put a lot of power into it. It's definitely an adjustment, and it takes a lot of determination and focus for you to make that a really strong punch, I think, So,
yeah.
That's pretty cool.
And it's your lead hand. If your power hand's behind, then it's your lead hand. So it's obviously a lot closer. And so you got to make up for the lack of your shoulder being, really behind it, and your weight and your body torquing behind it. You got to make up for that with the speed, because it's in front of you and you got to pop. Boom. And then
how do you disguise it in certain ways? Is there a certain strategy that you can do to disguise your jab? And make it look?
Yeah. Let me see if I can explain this. Like the more straight that my hand goes towards your face, the harder it is going to be for you to see it, because all you're seeing is, like, let's say a glove, and as it gets closer to you, it's just growing in size, right?
Yes.
But if it wasn't a straight linear punch, and instead I'm telegraphing it, and you're boom, now you can see it, because it's not just it's not just a glove staying in the same spot that's getting bigger till it hits you. Now it's crossing the line. You're able to see it in a whole nother dimension, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Because just like straight at you is like it doesn't go sideways, doesn't go up or down. If it's just bam, and so likewise, so if you see it, you telegraph, you got a way better chance of seeing it if it goes sideways or up or down. If I'm coming back here to punch you, it's a lot easier to see than if it's just that, right?
Yeah.
Also, same thing with your forearm. So if you got your forearm ahead of you and you think, if I punch like just straight at you, if my forearm stays straight up and down, and all it does is shrink when my glove gets bigger, right?
Uh-huh.
That's a lot harder to see than if you see my forearm, like covering side to side, up and down. If my arm is moving anywhere around here, you're going to be able to see it a lot better than if it's just bam.
Right.
Does that make sense?
That makes plenty of sense. So, for example, if you're in a kickboxing match or anything like that, or any kind of match, so sometimes you would disguise the jab by just keeping it straight, but then other times you would make a punch that makes it like more deliberate, like you see more of a forearm and stuff like that? Would you mix them in between?
Well,
So
but then it's not a jab. Okay.
okay,
Then it's a
yeah,
cross or a
sure.
hook. And
Mhm.
and sometimes that's what's available. That's the target. Sometimes it's what you plan with a combination or something. You might go jab, jab, uppercut, and you might have a several move combo. But when it comes to just a jab, I want it to be hidden.
You always want it to be straight, like
Yeah.
yeah,
And,
because that's how you throw.
and another thing is like the way that I was taught, and everyone has different techniques, but was to look over my glove, and that way my glove is, my gloves are kind of covering my face, but when I'm looking over my glove and then I just punch like straight at you, it's just it's like an eye to eye, bam. It's a lot harder to see than seeing it come from somewhere else.
From over there, yeah, because
It's
if
the
you're
closest thing to you too, so it's bam, bam.
yeah,
And you get it fast, and you get that snap with your wrist, boom, that you learn to do, and it's not a wasted move. Now it's like you get that in there, boom, might do some damage.
yeah, absolutely, yeah, catching somebody off guard like that. Another question when it comes to it, do you always? I kind of started to learn like,
Well, which by the way, let me just get this in.
sure, yeah,
When I was learning, though, the guys that were training me, they could throw that hook that you're talking about, and they were just so fast with it that it was probably even faster than my straight on jab, that I was trying to perfect at the time. One of them was Terry Gay. He was the kickboxer that I trained with at Super T's Karate. And another one was Troy Nesbitt. He was a Golden Glove boxer and a street fighter. He was one of the kids in school that was always getting in fights and known for being really tough and kicking a lot of ass. And we used to play on his trampoline. That's one of the places I learned on my flips. But he came to my ring when I had my ring set up at 84 Lumber in a storage place that I was paying $200 a month for in training. And at that point, I didn't really know that much. I was like really green in it. And I just remember that like, he was like so fast that he, he'd be like this. He could even have his hands kind of down. Like he would like switch them up, and do all that shit. But
yeah.
I wouldn't see it coming at all. And it would do so much movement that I should have been able to pick on. I mean, it wasn't hidden at all. It would come around the world like this and bam. And it was just so bam, so quick. There was like, holy fuck, man. No wonder this guy's, got the reputation he does. That was Troy Nesbitt. Thanks for the punches, bro.
Damn, that's wild.
Yeah.
So when you throw a good jab too, were you taught to like utilize your hip a little bit too? Like, a little bit is that something that added to the strength, I guess, and that's kind of what I've been learning a little bit. But
yeah, it's a little hip, it's a little your shoulder, but you gotta learn to do it in a way that I don't know if I could teach or not, because that could slow you down if you're focusing on it, but it needs to be behind your punch, just like if you're pushing your car and it's a neutral, you need to have that behind you. But your fist still needs to lead the chase. It's hard to explain, but yeah, it's the shoulder and the hip and your foot even, like your your lead leg is gonna take the stress and the weight as you lunge forward with that, and pop. Might, like if it's real close and shit, then you might not move your waist, you know what I mean? Like if you're like pop, if you're like real in close, but it still has to be there. It still has to be like tight and strong and pushing. It has to be pushing behind it.
That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense.
Oh, okay, good. Yeah.
Okay. One final question. I remember you telling us in previous episodes that Blackjack Lanza taught you how to throw a working punch. Was you not throwing a working punch, was that because you were so used to throwing those kind of jabs and stuff like that, and that kind of how you adapted that into the wrestling?
100%.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I never got taught to punch like at Sheik school. It was all about grabbing and bringing them in close and really grappling and shit. It was it wasn't about trying to throw work punches. It wasn't about camera angles. It wasn't about TV wrestling. It was about learning the foundation, and then we knew what we were watching, so we could expand on that when Sheik wasn't around. But yeah, absolutely. Like the punches look like shit on TV because I wasn't telegraphing them, and they were just bip bip, and they look like crap. So you do the opposite if you're doing a movie, or if you're in wrestling where you want a really dramatic punch. The exercise that I learned at Storm King Mountain's action movie making weekend seminar that I went to a few times, but there's the exercise that we learned to throw the punch is you reach behind you like you're grabbing a bottle of beer off the bar to hit somebody with. So when you punch them, you come way back here, crack.
Oh,
yeah. You grab that bottle, and that was an exercise that we learned, and that's the opposite of what you want to do in a boxing match or a real fight.
Well, the funny thing, so I was on set for Creed, the one Rocky movie, and it was Michael B. Jordan and Tony Bello. Tony Bello is like a legitimate like boxer and stuff like that from Britain, and they literally went through the whole round to film. Like they would box the whole round out, and so but then Stallone, I remember Stallone stopping the whole thing, and then he gets in the ring. And so they were doing like really regimented actual boxing kind of thing. But when Stallone did it, he's speaking to what you were saying, like making it for the camera. And it was like, damn, that's a Rocky punch right there that he's throwing, and like showing them how to do it in a different way. It was pretty fascinating stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty cool. All right.
Yeah, I actually had training to do it in movies at those the action movie making weekend seminars that I went to. I did like 2 or 3 of them. Had a lot of fun at those, and that is how I got hooked up with my first movies that I did too, because they were, casting, and there was a tryout at the end of it. That's how I got cast for Blood Moon, first Super Fights, and then Blood Moon.
Holy shit.
Yeah, from this thing that I paid like a mark and went to on the Hudson River, Storm King Mountain in New York. And that's where I met Keith Hackney. Keith Hackney was the White Tiger. He was in UFC, the dude that knocked the big dude.
Oh.
Yeah, I always get his name. I think his name is Emmanuel Yarborough, the really, really big dude. But anyway, yeah, big 600-pound dude, and he hit him with a ridge hand, bam, and went down, and boom, broke his hand. Anyway, not important, but those things, like I learned how to work like the camera and stuff like that for movies, but I still threw a shitty punch in wrestling for another 10 years.
You just didn't like it didn't dawn on you or necessarily?
Not really, no, because like in a movie, you don't want to make contact.
Sure. Yeah.
You just have to cross the eye line and time it, with the reaction, and you don't really want to touch each other. But with wrestling, that looks like, people know if you fucking, hey, you didn't even touch him, and it looks like shit. Yeah.
Yeah, true.
I hate when I see that, but it happens. And so yeah, so I didn't do that. So I was still, doing my own shitty punch, which was kind of like my shoot punch, but not hoping I didn't knock the guy out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And yeah, Blackjack Lanza eventually taught me, and then nobody noticed that all of a sudden I could punch, but nobody was saying my punches the shits anymore.
Yeah.
Like they don't notice. Now I was well rounded, and I knew it.
Then you were where it's like, I got good punches.
Yeah,
that's good stuff. Spring is here, and you want to look good. Moving into spring, getting ready for summer, getting ready for the sunlight out, the rays hitting you. You want to look good. You want to almost say you want to look perfect. You won't look any more perfect than using Perfect Jeans. And I tell you what, you won't feel any more better this summer and spring with Perfect Jeans. I tell you what, they have the best, no doubt about it. This is a legitimate shoot. I am taking the Perfect Jeans with me to WrestleMania week this coming week. They are my favorite pair of pants I own overall, and I will be rocking them. I'll be rocking the Perfect Jean in Las Vegas at WrestleMania week. So you should be on the lookout for that. But you should be on the lookout for our special code that we got for you guys in this special offer this week. The Perfect Jean is something that me and Rob, we got early on here. And I can't speak highly enough, like I said, of it. And I got the light blue kind, which was such a cool looking pair. And they fit me great. The form fitting is everything. And they stretch great too. So much good stuff. The Perfect Jean always has free shipping and exchanges and returns. And you have a peace of mind knowing that your order is completely risk-free as well. So Perfect Jean doesn't stop at just jeans. They've also revolutionized t-shirts too, which is cool. The Perfect Tee has enough to stretch and hide that beer belly while accentuating your arms and chest for that flawless look. It's as soft as butter without shrinking in the wash. Like all your other tees, it's perfect. So it's finally time to stop crushing your balls in uncomfortable jeans by going to theperfectjean.nyc. Our listeners get 15% off your first order plus free shipping, free returns, and free exchanges when you use code RVD15 at checkout. That's 15% off for new customers at theperfectjean.nyc with promo code RVD15. After you purchase, they'll ask where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them that One of a Kind with RVD sent you. F your khakis and get the Perfect Jean.
Have better sex with Blue Chew. Blue Chew is the original brand offering chewable tablets for better sex. And starting now, Blue Chew is offering a combo so strong it'll knock your socks off and your neighbor's socks off. Bam! You'll have to move towns with the amount of noise you'll be making. Blue Chew Max has arrived, and it combines the active ingredients of Viagra and Cialis into one chewable tablet. This combo acts fast and lasts. Guys, be ready when she needs it and get your first month of Blue Chew free. Great sex is a few clicks away. Sign up at bluechew.com. Consult with one of their licensed medical providers, and once you're approved, you'll receive your prescription within days. Blue Chew tablets are made in the US of A and prepared and shipped directly to your door. The best part, it's all done online. That means no visits to the doctor's office, no awkward conversations, and no waiting in line at the pharmacy. Make life easier by getting harder and discover your options at BlueChew.com. We've got a special deal for our listeners. Try your first month of Blue Chew free when you use promo code RUMOR. Just pay $5 shipping. That's promo code RUMOR. Visit BlueChew.com for more details and important safety information. We thank Blue Chew for sponsoring the podcast.